All right, welcome back, everybody. Live at Drew's house, another edition. Hope everybody is doing well on this late January day. It's been a cold week, a little snow incoming there. So let's talk hockey. How about that? I'm going to be joined by a few of the Newburyport Clippers right now. Let's bring these boys in. Newburyport Clippers hockey. Hello, everybody. How we doing?
Hey,
Good, how are you?
All right, so I'm going to say in your name and just raise your hand so people know who we're talking about. We got Jackson Marshall. There he is. Goaltender, right?
Yeah.
Very good. Colin Richmond. There we are. Hello, Colin. Second appearance on the show for you. And Tyler, is it St. Lawrence?
It's St. Lawrence.
St. Lawrence, Tucker St. Lawrence? It's just as straight as it can be. Okay. I was thinking hockey. We might have a little like French-Canadian action going on. Or something.
A lot of people have thought that actually over the years.
You could adopt it being a hockey player. Be kind of cool. All right, Tucker St. Lawrence joining us. Are you guys the captains on the Newburyport Clippers team this year? Or?
Yes.
Yeah.
I figured as much. It is a very big honor getting the okay from your coach, Paul Yameen, to come talk to me. This is he only trusts very certain people, so congratulations. Good, you're all thrilled by it. I can tell. Let's start. Let's start with Colin. He's the veteran of the show. So give me a little bit of the play-by-play here. Newburyport Clippers hockey so far this season, and in a pandemic, so it must be kind of wild.
Yeah, it's definitely been different than in the past. Obviously, it's shorter, less games. So really got to make sure to like take advantage of every game. Can't let one really slip away.
Is it a shorter schedule right off the bat? Did you know you're going to be playing fewer games?
Yeah, it was. I think every other year it's been like 20 or like 22 games. This year is like I think it's just 10. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Tucker, what's it been like the actual play? Is it? Are you guys wearing masks? What's the deal?
Yeah, so we've been wearing masks. They make these things actually that like attach to your cage, so you don't have to fumble around with it, which I've been using, which has been helpful. But other than that, there's just like a couple like rule adjustments. Like if there's a scrum, they call the whistle so that you're not just standing next to each other for like a prolonged time. But that's pretty much it.
Are some officials a little bit more strict than others with that, I would imagine?
Yeah, it definitely varies. Every ref seems to call it a little differently, but yeah.
We've been hearing that across most sports. What do you have for signs back there in your, what is that, your bedroom? Is that where we're coming to you from?
Yeah.
What do you got going on there? What's the pink thing behind you?
Oh, it's the Endless Summer. It's a surfing movie.
Oh, okay. Very good. It looks like you're like a California boy or something. Anyway, Jackson Marshall, how you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
Good. You said you were on the show way back. I don't quite remember it, but you said you were in the room as must have been a bunch of hockey guys. You were a freshman, you said last time?
Yeah. I just kind of sat there. you like wanted me to get in on the interview, but I was like, I didn't really feel like it.
Oh, really? That doesn't sound like
it.
No. What are the differences as a goaltender playing in a pandemic here?
Just like the mask pretty much. You just have to like not let that get in your way because like you can it kind of blocks your vision a little bit, but just getting around that. And like it's harder to communicate because obviously with the mask.
Yeah, because are you one of those goalies who's kind of yelling at defensemen a lot for positioning and everything?
I try to.
Yeah.
If I don't, I'll hear it from them.
So Coach Yameen and your rest of your coaching staff has to wear the mask too now. Is that are you guys like pretending not to hear him sometimes? What's that all about?
So like it doesn't really help because you can't hear him half the time, and then like with the mask, it doesn't even help. It doesn't help anymore. Because you'll be screaming like across the ice, and you're like, "What did he just say?" And you can't read his mouth.
Gotcha. All right, very good. So those are the big differences then in a pandemic. What's the what is school like? Because I haven't really talked to you guys about that. We'll get back to hockey in a few, but what is this last however many months been like with school, hockey, everything?
It's been
really weird.
Yeah. Here, Colin, you go first, just so we don't talk over each other.
Yeah, it's just like really different from any year, really, especially because we changed the schedule this year too. So it's like, and with having the choice to either go in person or stay at home, like it's really different for everyone depending on what they choose to do. So.
Mm-hmm. Tucker, how about you?
Yeah, I kind of feel the same. I chose to do you can either do like hybrid, which is online and at school, or just completely online. And I did hybrid for a couple weeks in like the early fall, but I just didn't really like it because the teachers it's kind of set up so they still teach to the online kids. So I kind of just ended up deciding to stay home because it just didn't really add too much for me personally, but it's definitely been really weird.
Yeah, I can understand that. Jackson, you?
Yeah, I was doing the same thing what Tucker was doing. Like I went for the first couple weeks, and then you're just like, there's no really point to going to school twice a week. You'd rather just stay at your house. But
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. What's the bring it back to the rink for a second, because you guys, your home rink, for those people who don't know, in Newburyport, it's the Graph. It's this small little barn, and for high school standards, it's pretty small, and the locker rooms are tight. I can imagine locker room rules and precautions are completely different. Give me the lowdown on that.
you can't even use like the locker room. We have to get dressed out in the rink.
Oh, you guys don't use the locker room at all?
No.
Oh, that is a big difference.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We have to like show up. We have to show up to like games and practice like half dressed, and yeah, you can only go in like 30 minutes before the game.
Oh man, I didn't realize that. So when do you guys get like the pregame talk from the coaches and everything?
A few minutes before we step on the ice now.
It's like on the bench?
Maybe 10.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Huh. That is very different. So that's a whole different atmosphere, because I'm used to you guys like rocking out with blaring music in there, and so that's going to be one of the biggest differences for you, right, Tucker?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I think everyone kind of had to change, their pregame routines and all that. I think in past years we've definitely been the type of team to, show up really early and kind of start getting prepared for the game. But now it's really different. It's usually pretty quiet out in the rink, and everyone's kind of just getting dressed with the 10 minutes they have and just try to get yourself ready in that short period. So it's definitely an adjustment.
And how about Colin? Fans in the stands? Are there any? Are there some? Are there family? What's the deal?
No one is in the stands at all. It's really boring.
Really? So that they literally don't allow one person in. Not is the athletic director is in there? Or what?
Yeah. I think there's people in there making sure that other people don't get in there. I think that's what they're there for. But
Okay, interesting. As a goaltender, Jackson, is that I can imagine you kind of get lost in the silence sometimes. You must be used to getting heckled and taunted from road crowds and everything. This must be really weird.
Yeah, it was really different. When we played Triton, they usually fill it, and there was no one there. It was really quiet. It was just different for a Triton Newburyport game. So
I can imagine. Is it actually hard to I mean, these guys have to go full speed, but I mean, say the puck's in the other zone. Is it can you get lost in, looking at the ceiling or whatever sometimes?
no, I just try and stay focused and pay attention on the play. But it's really quiet. It's so weird.
Yeah, I can imagine that's weird. I would imagine those are the biggest game differences. Is there stuff you can't even do at like practice? Like what are the practice changes?
There really isn't any. Like they're like in the beginning of the summer, like we couldn't hit it all, but like that's all gone. But now you can pretty much do whatever you want.
Tucker, you could like body check. There was no checking.
Yeah, like over the summer we would have just kind of like some skills clinics, and it was mostly just all non-contact stuff because of the like rules at the time. So we just kind of did more skills, but as it got closer to the season, the rules kind of relaxed a little bit, so we could start doing, more of that stuff.
Interesting. Colin, how are the refs? You guys mentioned the refs kind of have different, some will be a little bit more lenient with these rules. What are those conversations like? I mean, do they have to get in the middle of these scrums and be like, guys, we just can't do it. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sure there've been some funny moments in that regard.
yeah, so it's mostly like they'll let it go for a couple of seconds, but then like if the puck's really frozen and like a bunch of people start coming in to try and help, that's when they'll kind of blow it dead. And like also as a center, like sometimes if you go in and your mask is like slipping off, they'll tell you between periods to make sure to not let your mask slip.
Yeah, you front and center. Jackson, you must have loved that. Less traffic in front of the net. This is great. Get out of my crease.
Yeah.
Not really. You'd rather be back to normal. How's Coach Emin? I know Coach Emin. I've known him for very many years. I can imagine this is not the easiest year for a coaching staff. How's he handling it? How's he doing? You guys all
I
looking.
mean, I think for the most part, it's pretty good. I mean, I think obviously it's not ideal for anyone, but I think the coaches have had to take on a lot of responsibilities that they usually wouldn't have to, which is just kind of like making sure everyone's kind of doing what they're supposed to be doing and staying socially distant. I think it's been in a lot of ways like a lot for them to take on. But I think, they've done a really good job of it and try to keep as much normalcy as possible.
Mookie, you guys want to come see that? Mookie, stop it. There, he's a very loud dog sometimes. So good. You gave a head thumbs up to the coaches. That's very nice of you. You know what I think we have here is the time of day we're doing this. I believe we have a mailman situation, which is interesting because I think he really likes the mailman. I think is actually what that is, but I'm not sure. So the coaches are handling it okay, I guess. Their pregame talks are completely different, done on the bench. Did you guys have to set like different goals? Because usually your goals are state tournament. You got to get to a certain amount of wins, but there's no state tournament, right?
No.
So the goal has to be to what? Just get the best Cape Ann League record, and that's what the title you're playing for?
Yeah, go undefeated and win the Cal.
Who do you so how many teams are in the Cal?
There's 6, I think.
So you're playing everybody twice essentially?
They split it up into 2 divisions. They made like I don't really know how they did it, but they made one with 4 teams. Wait, so there's 7 teams since Amesbury doesn't have a team this year. But they split us, Trey, North Reading, and Linfield up, and they put Rockport and Hamilton Wenham with Pentucket.
Gotcha.
And
So are you guys, I can imagine, Colin, when you guys take the ice now, you're like, I would think you're not taking any games for granted anymore. Is there that kind of feeling of we're just lucky to be out here?
Yeah, definitely. It's a relief that we even get to have the 10 games that we do. But I mean, with the number of games being limited, each game is like even more important than the last one. So just making it to the end while trying to not lose a single game.
Tucker, what are you guys at for a record at right now?
Oh, we're 4-0-1 right now.
So undefeated is still in the cards.
So far, yes.
So you guys are the 3 captains. What are some names that are like surprising people this year? Anybody you want to name drop that maybe a youngster back in the day, like when Jackson was on the show and wouldn't talk, but we knew he was going to be good?
I think freshman Kane Brennan has really stepped up.
I
think a lot of the older guys
from the Brennan family of hockey players
Yeah.
Okay. Who else? Colin, who you got?
I'd say Max Pulio probably. I mean, he was really good last year too, but especially as an underclassman, he's been really good for us.
Jackson, who's your favorite defenseman? Who's protecting you?
probably, I don't know. All of them are really solid.
It's a good goalie answer right there.
Yeah.
You don't have any favorites?
No.
What's the it must be different this year, like not doing because hockey, I think, if I remember correctly, it was always like pasta parties before games, night before and all that, right? I'm assuming, like, are there smaller scales, social distance of that, or just eliminated?
Like parents came together and they're like bringing meals to the rink the day before the game or the night before. So we just take a meal to go and we all get the same thing. I don't know. It's been weird though without the pasta parties because you can't really get that like team camaraderie going. So like there's kids that I barely know, and by February now you know like half of them.
Yeah, I can imagine. And no locker room too, Tucker. I mean, you guys, so many bonds are made in the locker room, talking about what went wrong, what went right, and you don't have that anymore either, right?
Yeah, I mean, the team can still all sit together, in between periods and stuff, but just talking about how to improve during games and stuff, it's definitely harder, without that locker room feel where everyone's just kind of sitting in a circle facing each other. It's kind of a lot harder to have those whole team conversations.
Yeah, Colin, talk about that a little bit, how tough it's been to actually bond as a team, because I know your coach, Coach Yamin, has always really prided himself on bringing teams together, a lot of chemistry, close-knit teams, and must just be so much harder.
Yeah, it's definitely harder with the off-ice stuff to get the team closer together. So this year, we really need to focus on practicing as a team, because that's probably our best like opportunity to really bring it together as a practice. So that's probably what the main focus should be, I'd say.
Jackson, when you say you're struggling to like get to know a lot of these guys, do you mean like especially like the younger, like the freshmen and the sophomores, like because there is a big age gap there, big age gap there, and there's a chance, 3-4 years younger than you. It's kind of you don't grow up with these kids necessarily, and you probably want to meet these guys a lot more. Is that what you really mean, like the freshmen and sophomores?
Yeah, it's like you don't even like see them in school either, which is tough because like even just like walking by them, you like talk to them at school, but like you can't even like even at the post parties, like there's not like groups at post parties, but like the freshmen usually don't like interact a lot, but I don't know, you always like get that feel with them, and you're not really getting it this year.
And isn't there something too, like you do kind of when you spend a lot of time in like the locker room and just you joke around and everything? I'm sure you're, some of the talk that you guys probably have, maybe you're not as free when your parents are all around and food's all around and everything. I mean, it's got to be just kind of weird to have that, try to put that locker room environment somewhere else.
Yeah, definitely. It's really hard to mimic. Just like a group of guys like all being together, it's pretty hard to find another place to like really emulate that environment. But I think we've tried to find ways, especially like during practice, I think our practices have been a lot more vocal this year, which is definitely something we try to focus on. So I think everyone's talking a lot more on the ice, which I think has kind of helped, build that camaraderie a little bit.
Yeah, Colin, yeah, that's a good point that Tucker just made, because I've been watching a lot of like the college basketball, and they're playing in empty arenas too. And I noticed and even Coach Clay, the basketball coach on the Newburyport side, told me on this show once that he's like, the benches are just coming so loud, almost trying to you're never going to mimic what it sounds like to be in the arena, but you do the best you can just to make some noise. So is that it happening on the hockey side too, just being as loud as you can?
Yeah, definitely. Like taking face-offs, I always hear like our team going crazy for me on the face-offs, which always helps. And
they're yelling, "Pull your mask up."
no. But it's a little harder because we have to put some people in the stands instead of on the bench. I think we can only put 6 people on the bench, so
Really?
it's a little harder still.
I did not realize that either.
Yeah.
Wow. So is it like your third line is in the stands? How does that work?
Yeah, we usually just rotate through. So we keep one forward on the bench that's not going out next, and the defense are always rotating through. It's a lot of getting used to. Definitely.
That is bizarre. Tucker, what's that like standing outside of the bench watching your guys go?
Yeah, it's definitely weird. There's a lot of moving parts. I don't know if you've been if in the graph how the benches are set up, but you can't access the bench unless you go through the ice. So what they did is they removed a section of the bench so that the players can kind of rotate in without having to be on the ice. So there's kind of people rotating in and out while everyone's changing shifts. And you just really got to stay on your toes, or else you're either going to get a COVID violation or you're just going to miss your shift. So you have to just pay more attention.
A COVID violation? Is that a 2-minute minor?
No, not actually a thing, but they'll harp on you if they see that your bench is really crowded.
Don't give these officials any ideas, Tucker. We're not gonna coin that term, okay?
Yeah.
Jackson, let's just be honest. I mean, the graph in Newburyport has always had one of the best home ice advantages over the years, and that place has been loud. You go to a Newburyport Triton game, it seems like it's always a close game and always loud in this party atmosphere. How much are you guys missing it? I mean, I know you're dealing with it and trying to come up with the best you can, and benches are being loud and all that stuff, but genuinely, how much are you guys missing the crowd?
It's definitely different. You really have to get up for the game. You're there's the games where you don't really play for the crowd, but the crowd definitely helps, and it's just completely throws it off since it's so dead in there.
Yeah, and Colin, I bet there's nights where you might be ready to play, but maybe you're just struggling to find your legs or find your energy, whatever it is. Everybody has those off nights, and the crowd can really lift you. It must be kind of weird not being able to feed off that a little
bit. Yeah, it's definitely different, but this year I think we've been pretty good with our teammates picking us up and helping us get the energy up. So it's been manageable.
All right, so you're dealing with it okay. I like that. Tucker, how about you just as far as just missing it? Like so many kids are having a tough time not having the experience of just playing in front of their classmates and their friends. What's that feeling like for you? How's it hit you?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I mean, I don't think anyone's going to deny that it's fun to play in front of a big crowd and in front of all your friends and classmates. But I think this year especially, you know, we got a big senior class, and I think everyone's just really motivated to just have a good season. And I think that's been the focus mostly. So I think everyone's just trying to use that as motivation rather than anything else.
I bet is there something to the idea, you guys can all touch on this, Colin, we'll start with you. Is there something to the idea, like I bet the veteran teams, bunch of seniors like you guys, are maybe more prepared for this? You're a little bit older, a little bit more mature. Stuff happens in life. You've probably had older, a little bit wiser to deal with these things. Let's try to lead by example and make the best of it. Is there a little bit of that in your mantra here?
Yeah, I'd say we have it a little easier. Well, not exactly easier than the freshmen, but like we can adapt to it better probably because we know like the way the team should work and the way like a normal season should go. So I feel like we're kind of set like to move through it smoothly.
How about you, Tucker? Is there like an element of trying to set a good example here for the young guys? Like stuff happens, work through it?
Yeah, I mean, definitely like there's the captains, but I think just as a class, we've really always wanted to like have a good positive attitude and just set a positive example for the younger kids. Cause like it is a weird time to play through, but I think if everyone has like a good source for like some motivation, then we can all just get through it together.
Jackson, who's your backup goalie? Young guy or?
There's two. There's one that's in our class, and then there's one that's a sophomore who played last year.
Okay, so you're probably trying to set some good examples there too, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, just come to practice every day and work hard.
Yeah, I mean that's probably always the case. What was the mentality coming into this season? Was there ever any thought to like, well, listen, if there's not going to be any fans, if there's not going to be a tournament, let's not even do this? Was there any of that, or was it just play the games in any way possible?
It was pretty much play as many games as possible because like even like until like the last month in, we thought we were still getting like a full on season, like the full 22, and we had found out we were only playing 11 games, but it was better than nothing, so can't really complain.
Same, Colin?
Yeah, definitely agree.
Tucker?
Yeah, absolutely. I think everyone's just hoping for anything they can get.
Is there a part of this that's like, I mean, people are still in quarantine. I know it's, you know, it is what it is. Is there an element of like hockey's the escape? Like it's like we genuinely enjoy going to practice. Like it's something to do and see our friends.
Yeah, definitely. I think especially after like online school, sitting in front of a computer all day, you're pretty ready to rip your hair out by the end of the day. So it's nice to go blow off some steam and have some fun in practice.
The hair looks good today, Tucker. Nicely done.
Thank you.
And you're probably not you're probably not enjoying this then, because here you are in front of a computer again in your spare times. This is great. Colin, what would you say is the one thing that you learned about your like self this year here during a pandemic odd season?
I guess I'd say it's kind of what I said for the golf one too, but it's just staying motivated really.
Did I ask that same question for the golf one?
It was similar, I think, yeah.
But different, see? Huh?
Similar but different. Yeah, just trying to find motivation to just keep showing up and like really taking what you can get and making the most of it, I'd say.
Jackson, you find anything about yourself there in this?
You just can't really take anything for granted because it can be taken away so quick.
Tucker, same question. Let's get all of you on that one.
Yeah, definitely just the same, just making the most of every chance we have to play, I think has been the biggest thing for me.
And it's probably not a surprise. I mentioned the senior leadership thing. Probably not a surprise. You guys think that's led to your hot start here?
Kinda.
Yeah,
I guess.
you could say goaltending, Jackson. It's really just been the goaltending.
No, it's been the whole team, but yeah, we're 4-0-1, but we don't really feel 4-0-1, so
Okay.
could have been a better start for us, but We got the last 6 games to figure it out.
Have you guys had a Triton game yet?
Yeah, we had 1. We played them 3 times this year.
Was that when it really sunk in, when like Triton and Newburyport was a quiet atmosphere? That must have been like bizarre.
Yeah, it was very different.
Was it still physical? I mean, do they limit? They can't limit like the actual like checking. The scrums is one thing, but it's like you're still checking and playing the game, right? There's no huge rule changes.
Yeah, you're still able to hit. It's all the scrums. Anything else can go, really. All
Okay.
normal rules, though.
It's such a fast-paced game. To make too many changes would be kind of crazy. All right, boys. Well, let's end with this then. We'll talk about the just one quick thing on school. Wintertime. Has there been any changes since? Well, maybe Colin, you're good for this. Since we last talked, you were a fall golf guy. Any big changes within the school? Like, has it pretty much been like the same old thing since last few months?
Yeah, I mean, it stayed the same for me because I've been remote the entire time, just taking my classes at home. So I don't. Maybe since they were hybrid, they'd know better than me if anything has really changed. But for me, nothing's changed.
Oh, you know what I meant to ask you too? How are the parents dealing with this? Because hockey parents are like, so many of them are like really dedicated. They've been driving you guys to the rinks at 7 a.m. since you guys were young kids. This must be kind of hard on your parents not being able to get into the building to see you, right?
Yeah, that's definitely hard for my parents. I don't know. I think we're getting lucky and we're able to actually have a senior night this year, which the parents can go to, I think. But also like they've been watching it on Live Barn on our TVs, so which is okay, but they'd obviously rather be at the rink, be able to be there.
Yeah, that's something that your athletic director came up with, Kyle Hodson, right? He's, playing all the games. You can watch the games live on television.
Yeah, it's like a monthly subscription. You can just watch the games.
Interesting. Tucker, how about in your case, like not having certain people there?
Yeah, I mean, I think my parents would obviously, kill to be there. I think, they've been like watching my games since I was like 6, and I think they really like it. But I think Live Barn does the trick for the most part. But like Colin said, it's definitely not the same as being there in person.
Yeah, similar answer, Jackson? Or?
Yeah, my parents would definitely like love to be able to come, but they get like if for them not to be able to go is for us to have a season, so they'll do what they have to do and watch it over TV.
Gotcha. All right, boys. Well, I will wish you all the best here. Go undefeated, will you? Win the rest of these games, and that'll be a pretty cool thing to say, won't it? If we went undefeated in the pandemic season, that'd be a pretty nice thing to put on the resume.
But yeah.
Or
Absolutely.
at least win the Cal. Let's do rapid fire to end. Colin, you might get some overlap on this. You've done it, but we'll go Colin, Tucker, Jackson. All right. And again, thank you to Colin Richmond, Tucker St. Lawrence, and Jackson Marshall. Here we go. Colin, favorite hockey player?
Artemi Panarin, Rangers.
Tucker?
Quinn Hughes, Canucks.
Jackson?
Tuukka.
Tuukka. All right. We all Bruins fans? Anything different there? Yeah, okay. Well, I won't waste time on that one then. Favorite sport other than hockey?
Golf. Easy one.
Surfing, probably.
What was it?
Surfing.
Surfing? You really are the California boy. Jackson?
Lacrosse.
Okay. Lacrosse was a weird. Is that lacrosse is a spring sport, right?
Yeah.
Do you play? What are you hearing about lacrosse?
I don't really know yet. I think we're supposed to have a season.
Yeah, you're like, I don't even want to think about lacrosse. It's hockey right now. Favorite musicians?
Gotta stick with Juice WRLD from last time.
Yeah, last year.
Probably Dispatch.
Dispatch. No
Yeah.
kidding. That's like my age group, man. Have you seen any of our shows?
I don't think so.
I'm sorry to put you on the spot. I'm going to give you a hard time now. Guess who one of my guests was 2 weeks ago on this very show?
Was one of the guys in the band?
Chad Stokes of Dispatch.
No way.
Tuck, will you watch the show?
I mean, now I will.
It's a pandemic. What else do you have to do? What was my question again? Music. Jackson, go ahead.
Probably Lil Uzi Vert.
Okay. Favorite quarantine activity, boys? Final one.
I'd say video games.
I don't know, bike rides and stuff.
Jackson.
Probably just being able to like spend more time outside.
There you go. That's why. Are you ready to go outside right now? You look like you are.
Yeah, probably. Nice out today.
Final question. Best advice you can give to the like young hockey player, elementary school kid, middle school kid, I don't know, whatever, that wants to be in your shoes someday and play varsity puck at Newburyport. What would it be?
I'd say you'd make it a lot easier for yourself if you put in all the work you need to do. Make it a lot easier.
Tucker?
I'd just say like show up every day to practice as much as you can. Just be really consistent.
Jackson?
Just buy in from the beginning and don't take anything for granted because it goes by really quick.
Very good. Who's the toughest guy to stop, Jackson, in practice?
I don't know. Colin has my number on the same shot every time.
Where do you go, Colin?
Oh, low blocker.
Blocker. Tucker, how did you get into dispatch? I'm just curious because do you have like an older sibling or something? Because they're a very like hit or miss band. If you a certain time period, they kind of struck lightning.
Yeah, I play guitar, so I kind of just got into it through that.
Gotcha. All right. That's interesting. Go watch that show. It was a good one.
Yeah, well, I'll check it out.
Chad's a good man. Boys, best of luck. I know it's been a tough year on a lot of you guys with the dealing with all this stuff, but good luck the rest of the way. Finish the winter strong and finish the rest of the season, all right?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, boys.
Thank you.
Tell Coach Amin I said hi.
Will do.
All right, there you go. Very good. Jackson Marshall was the goalie. Tucker St. Laurent was, it's all different on my screen. I don't know how it comes across. Tucker St. Laurent was there, the dispatch guy, and Colin Richmond, who we had on. He was a good golfer, too. We had him on during golf season. So there you go. They're the Newburyport hockey guys. Very exciting. Good kids. Always fun to have the Newburyport guys on. Enjoyed that very much. How about that? A dispatch fan, young guy. It gives me faith, hope for the young kids in their music choices. Usually I ask that question and I don't know half the artists they say. I'm not sure I knew the other two they just said. I'm getting old, but dispatch, very nice. I'm impressed. Tucker St. Lawrence, good stuff. And go watch that episode, will you? Come on. Live at Drew's house, another edition. Hope everybody's doing all right out there. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Wear a mask. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.